Amid rising tensions with the United States, Iran threatened to launch strikes on U.S. military bases across the Middle East, raising fears of a wider regional conflict. However, analysts say that one American base in the region represents a clear red line for Tehran, due to its strategic importance and nuclear role. Political commentators argue that Iran is likely to steer clear of Incirlik Air Base in Turkey, viewing it as too risky a target compared with other U.S. facilities. Located near the city of Adana, Incirlik is described as a key operational hub for both U.S. and NATO missions in the region, handling a wide range of deployments. The base hosts Turkish Air Force personnel alongside U.S. Air Force units, reflecting its role as a joint installation under NATO's framework. Incirlik also accommodates a variety of NATO and U.S. aircraft, including fighter jets, aerial tankers, and cargo planes used for transport and support operations. In addition, the base is configured to support reconnaissance flights, aerial refueling, and rapid response missions in crisis situations throughout the wider region. Its strategic position close to Iran, Iraq, and Syria allows U.S. and NATO forces to respond quickly to conflicts and security emergencies in the Middle East. Open-source estimates indicate that Incirlik stores roughly 20 to 50 US B61 nuclear gravity bombs as part of NATO's nuclear sharing arrangements. Because of this nuclear role, experts say that any Iranian attack on Incirlik Air Base would be seen as a highly escalatory move, with global security implications. A strike on the territory of NATO-member Turkey, including a U.S. base there, could in principle invoke Article 5 of the NATO treaty. Under NATO's Article 5, an armed attack against one ally is treated as an attack against all, forming the core of the alliance's collective defense commitment. Some legal experts contend that if Iran's strike were framed as retaliation for prior U.S. attacks, NATO capitals might debate whether Article 5 strictly applies. This is because the UN Charter's rules on self-defense and aggression complicate scenarios where the attacked party is viewed as the initial aggressor. Turkey fields the second-largest standing force in NATO after the United States, underlining its significant conventional military capabilities. Global firepower assessments for 2026 rank Turkey among the top 10 militaries worldwide, well ahead of Iran. Turkish drones such as the Bayraktar TB.2, Anka, and Akinci have already been deployed in several conflict zones. In a crisis with Iran, these drones and Turkey's combat-hardened fighter jets could be mobilized rapidly, giving Ankara credible strike and deterrence options. Analysts warn that an attack on Turkish soil could push Ankara to align more closely with Washington, leaving Iran more isolated. Such a strike could also prompt discussions of a broader response by NATO allies, particularly because Incirlik hosts U.S. nuclear weapons. The United States maintains an estimated 40,000 to 50,000 troops across the Middle East, spread over several bases and facilities. The Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar is the largest U.S. base in the region. It is also the forward headquarters for U.S. Central Command. The naval support activity in Bahrain is the headquarters for the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet. It also oversees maritime operations in the Persian Gulf, the Red Sea, Arabian Sea, and parts of the Indian Ocean. The Al Dhafra Air Base in the UAE is a critical U.S. Air Force hub for reconnaissance and air operations against groups like Islamic State. The Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia supports air defense with Patriot and THAAD systems. The Muwafaqat al-Salti Air Base in Jordan hosts U.S. Air Force Central's 332nd Air Expeditionary Wing. The Ain al-Assad Air Base in Iraq hosts U.S. troops and supports Iraqi security forces, contributing to the NATO mission. Camp Arif Jan in Kuwait is the United States Logistics and Army Central Headquarters. The Ali al-Salem Air Base in Kuwait is a critical U.S. staging post for flights into Iraq. This comes as Iran continues to face violent protests driven largely by surging inflation and economic hardship since December. U.S. President Donald Trump voiced support for the demonstrators and declared that help is on the way, signaling political backing for the movement. Washington pulled some troops from key bases in the region, a move widely interpreted as preparation for potential strikes on Iranian targets. The U.S. has also created a new regional coordination cell at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar to strengthen air and missile defenses. Reports further note that the Pentagon ordered the carrier USS Abraham Lincoln and its strike group into the Middle Eastern theater as part of a show of force. Yet on January 15, Trump publicly softened his tone, saying that killing in Iran has stopped. Meanwhile, a Western military official told Reuters that unpredictability remains a core part of Trump's strategy.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.